Mark Dolan has had enough of the gruesome twosome.
Well done, Harry and Meghan, who once again have seized defeat.
You need to see what happened the moment Prince Harry realized he wouldn't get the armed royal protection he expected. Because the reaction that followed says a lot more than any official statement ever could. No grand press conference, no carefully worded release from Kensington, just a swift, almost petulant threat to slash his UK visit down to a single day and spend the rest of the time in Portugal instead. It's the kind of move that, on the surface, looks like nothing more than a change of plans, a shortened itinerary, a shifted flight. But if you've been paying even a little attention to the pattern here, you know it's never just about the schedule. It's about the message underneath it, the idea that if the terms aren't met, the visit itself becomes negotiable. Then, within hours, the commentary started pouring in. And once you line up what people are actually saying about this, the full picture is a lot bigger than a simple scheduling change. Royal watchers were quick to point out the timing. Commentators who followed the security dispute for months noted that this isn't the first time a decision like this has been met with an abrupt change of plans. Others zeroed in on the optics, the idea that cutting a visit short reads less like a logistical necessity and more like a statement aimed squarely at the institution he says he still wants a relationship with. And that's really the tension at the heart of all this. On one hand, there's the argument that anyone in his position would be justified in reassessing safety and simply making the most practical choice available. On the other, there's a growing chorus suggesting the reaction itself, the speed of it, the almost theatrical pivot to Portugal undercuts the idea that this was ever really about protection alone. Either way, what's clear is that this isn't just a story about a shortened itinerary. It's a story about what happens when expectation collides with decision, and about how quickly a private disappointment can turn into a very public signal.
Harry's proposed UK return with Archie, Lily and Meghan in July, just a week from now, was a wonderful opportunity for the couple to recalibrate their royal credentials and to recover from the public relations dumpster fire that was their trip, their fake royal tour to Australia. Now, of course, at the heart of this is the desire by King Charles to meet his grandchildren for the first time since 2022. He's in his 70s. He's still battling cancer. He wants some family time. Now, up till this point, Harry has shamelessly leveraged and weaponized access to Archie and Lily in order to get his armed royal protection. Well, Harry now, like a spoiled toddler, has thrown his toys out of the pram when discovering that you are not going to get your armed bodyguards. Now, be clear, this isn't about safety. This is not about protection. This is about Harry's ego. He wants to arrive in the UK and be the main man. He wants to be the head of a rival court. He wants the cop cars. He wants the blue sirens. He wants the police outriders, the whistles, the helicopters, the SWAT team. He wants it all. And so he's furious he's not going to get it. The latest development is he's threatening only to come for 24 hours. The rest of the time, he'll be in Portugal, most likely, at their luxury $9 million villa.
Now factor in that this is happening after months of the public watching the Sussexes oscillate between demanding privacy and generating headline after headline about their movements, and you start to understand why this latest twist hit so hard. It's not just one incident in isolation, it's the latest entry in a pattern that's left people genuinely confused about what privacy even means in this context anymore. You can't ask the cameras to look away one week and then dominate the news cycle the next and expect nobody to notice the contradiction. Here's the part that really got me though. TalkTV host Mark Dolan didn't bother with diplomatic language at all. He went straight to the core of it on Sky News Australia, saying, "This isn't about safety. This is not about protection. This is about Harry's ego," and then doubled down by describing the prince as acting like a spoilt toddler over the armed guard issue. What made the comment land the way it did wasn't just the bluntness, it was the timing. Dolan wasn't speaking into a vacuum. He was reacting to a situation that had already been simmering for months, one where every twist in the security saga seemed to reignite the exact same argument. Is this really about keeping a family safe? Or is it about something else entirely? He told viewers exactly what he thought of the threat, to limit the UK trip to 24 hours, framing it not as a security stand, but as a power play that collapsed the second Harry realized the rules wouldn't bend for him. And that framing is what seemed to resonate. It wasn't a measured take hedged with qualifiers. It was someone saying, plainly, what a lot of people watching from the sidelines had already started to suspect, that the reaction to the protection decision revealed more than the decision itself ever could. Whether you agree with Dolan's read or not, it's hard to deny the commentary tapped into something bigger than one host's opinion. It gave a voice to the skepticism that had been quietly building for months.
Is he threatening only to come for 24 hours? The rest of the time.
So, where does the public actually land on all of this? Because I have to tell you, the comments this week did not hold back. There's real exhaustion out there with the will they, won't they pattern around Sussex visits, the endless back and forth that turns every trip into a political and security drama. Comment after comment said people have simply stopped caring whether the couple ever comes back to the UK at all, especially when the optics keep pointing to a family that says it's desperate for privacy and safety, while simultaneously generating fresh controversy over the details of their own travel schedule. Others zeroed in on the specific contradiction. A man who has built a public brand around service and veterans now seen threatening to cut short a homecoming because he won't get the ceremonial trappings of the role he stepped away from. This isn't about one short visit anymore. It's about the accumulating weight of ego, entitlement, and a narrative that keeps colliding with reality.
How can he do this? This guy knows no shame.
There's real frustration building around what people are calling a pattern now, not a moment. This wasn't a one-off wave of comments that would fade by the next news cycle. It was described as something that had been accumulating for a while, gaining momentum with every new headline that seemed to fit the same mold. Comment after comment pointed to the same contradiction Dolan raised. You can't claim you want out of the spotlight while stepping directly into its most symbolic corners whenever the timing suits a narrative. People weren't just repeating the criticism, they were building on it, pointing to specific moments where the stated desire for privacy seemed to evaporate the instant a high visibility opportunity presented itself. The inconsistency, more than any single event, seemed to be what was fueling the frustration. Others were harsher still, accusing Harry of hollowing out something meant to honor sacrifice and turning it into a stage for his own rehabilitation tour. That's a heavier charge than simple hypocrisy. It's the suggestion that a moment meant to be solemn and unifying was instead being used as a backdrop for image repair. And once that accusation entered the conversation, the tone of the criticism shifted. It stopped being about scheduling or security altogether and became about intent, about whether the visit was ever really about honoring anything at all, or whether it was about being seen honoring it. That's the line a lot of commentators kept returning to. Not the trip itself, not even the protection dispute, but the question of what the whole moment was actually for.